Afternoon, guys, and it's lovely to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. Just on a tea break, having a little tea break, cup of tea. It was brought over this morning from the Cutty Sark. It was, yes, the Cutty Sark delivered my cup of tea this morning. I'm going to wait for a few of you lovelies to pop in, and then we're going to have a little chat. And I've entitled this video, "What Are We Creating?" And go create something different. Yeah. Everybody seems to get we get stuck. We're stuck on like a hamster wheel. And we have to, if we don't like something and we don't like a way of life and we don't like a particular whatever, we can go and start something new. We can go and start something fresh. We can change things. Does that make sense? Now, when we focus on the old, which, I mean, I'm always talking about what goes on in the system and yesterday's events with the Queen passing away. I said yesterday night on my show, I'm not going to show remorse for a woman that stayed silent for so many years, that knew her people in many ways were being homeless, being beaten up by energy companies, being beaten up by bailiffs, being beaten up by the police, and stayed quiet and said nothing. If we read the scripture and we go to Proverbs, Proverbs says that God placed himself into them so that they could, are they godly people? No. Can you say the Queen was godly? Can you say Prince Charles is godly? Not a chance. I personally think I'm more godly than any of them people. In as much as do no harm, be nice to people, fulfill the royal law. That's what we're all supposed to do. But so many people get, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Well, let them do that. But those of you that are awake, those of you that can, those of you that want to, pull away from their system and start something new that's not got the evilness and the wickedness. You can all do it. We are creators, guys. That's what we come into the world to do. We are creators. I work with my hands, yeah? I do. I work with my hands all the time. And I've had, my life's been up and down like a roller coaster. I was married, then I got divorced, then I was homeless for a bit. And now I find myself at the age of 55. Well, I found myself just over 10 years ago being mortgage free, having built a house out in the country. And I'm like, wow, how's this happened? How's someone like me been able to do that? The reason was because I didn't focus on the negative. I focused on the goodness. Now, my focus now is about starving the beast. If the system and the World Economic Forum and all these other people want to put mankind into slavery and take it over and do all this stuff, I'm not going to lend it my energy. It's like putting petrol on a fire. If you consider the system to be a fire, the system needs fuel to consume. So it's going to look for wood, pieces of paper, anything combustible. But when we keep putting the flames on, when we keep putting the fuel on the fire, that fire continues to burn. But I try every single way that I can to starve the beast. Now, that might sound extreme, but it's true. I try my hardest to starve the beast. Road tax, car tax, insurance. I can't be doing none of it because knowing what I know, I don't want to live in a world of paper that's driven by paper. Well, you can't use the roads because you haven't got a piece of paper. That's a nonsense. That's an irrationality. You've got to be deranged to consider that to be do you get what I'm saying? We live in a 3D world. This world is 3D, three-dimensional. Paper's not. MOT certificates, insurance policies, licenses are two-dimensional. We're not two-dimensional beings. And if the police think you are, well, they're suffering with delusions of the mind, guys. They really, really are. So the point of this video is let's, in whichever way you can, focus on different. Focus on creating something new. Focus on, I don't know, creating things that heal people and helping the world that way. Focus on creating off-grid communities where people can come together and live freely and peaceably in harmony with everybody else. I'll give you a little example. There is a place in, I think it's India, that as a population, I think, of either 10,000 or 1,000 or 100,000. I can't quite get how big that population is. But within that community, there's no religion, there's no money, there's no hierarchy. Everybody is taught and educated to love one another and to get on and to be nice to one another. And within that community, you've got people that heal people, you've got farmers, you've got people that create these different devices and stuff. So they live without money. They live without the structures and the hierarchy. And it is the hierarchy that's the problem. We seem to think, oh, we go out in our car, we ain't got an MOT certificate, we ain't got a tax. And there's a lot of people that will say, well, you need these things. But guys, it's just pieces of paper. That's all it is. So this community in India is prime example that you can live sustainably and in harmony, and you can create your own environment. You can create greatness, and this is exactly what they've done in this community in India. There's no one scrapping over whose house is bigger than theirs. They're not interested. They've got no religion. My God's bigger than your God. They've got rid of it all. They've understood that they're all standing equally in nature as individuals, but they're coming together to live in a harmony. So if they can do it, we can do it. We don't have to truck along with the system. We can remove ourselves. We have the ability to remove ourselves. We are 100%. It's not even that we're allowed to remove ourselves, because to be allowed is like being a slave and asking your master to throw you a few crumbs. And this is the world that we're starting to live in now. The masters throw you a few crumbs and everyone runs around and tries to get this and that. But instead of us focusing on the badness and how wicked the system is, what we should be focusing on is coming together and growing a different thing and making a different thing happen and putting our energy into that different thing. Now, I've got some friends. One of these women was one of the women on the original Dragon's Den. You know, the Dragon's Den where people go on to sell their ideas, to millionaires that want to invest. She was one of the original dragons, right? And her and a few others have bought 70 acres of land somewhere in this country, and they're looking hard and fast to turn it into an off-grid community for enlightened people, where there is where people for the people by the people help each other out and don't mug each other off and rob each other. And this is just not an isolated incident. This is happening all over the place. There's people buying up land and starting up their own things. There's farmers renting out their fields to people so they can start something fresh, that they can grow their own food. And the rent is very, very low. A friend of mine in Wales is just going to go and see a farmer, and the farmer's saying, right, I'll have 15 to 20 people on here in families, and you can all grow your own food. And I guess the farmer's going to get a return from that, because he's going to get food dropped round to his house. This is how it works, people. I'll give you a little example. We've got horses. I don't know if many of you have tuned into my stuff before. I've got stables. We've got horses. Now, we rent that. We don't rent it out, but what we do is we bag up the manure. And we put the bags out on a pallet, and it says free horse manure. And people come from all over the place. Our bags of manure have gone to Muswell Hill, and I'm in deep Kent, right? They've gone to Muswell Hill. I couldn't believe it when this woman said, because I was putting them on a car for her. I said, hope you have the windows open on the way home, love. She went, oh, I love this stuff. She said, it's really good. She said, I come to see my sister. And she said, and I'll take it back to London with me. I went, you're taking this all the way back to London? She went, yeah. I went, whereabouts? She went, Muswell Hill. I was like, my goodness. So that just shows you that my horses' leftovers can go and propagate someone's flowers, vegetables, and gardens in Muswell. Look at my bat wings there. Look at that, eh? Can go and do that in Muswell Hill. So we put it out, and then people all through the year come round. We've got a couple. She's a Thai lady. He's an Englishman. She works for a bakery. They're always putting on the top of our wall loads and loads and loads of food. We get people drop us off jams. It's unbelievable that the stuff that this is the communities. This is the world I want to live in. And then we're not working in this scarcity system. This government works on scarcity. Oh, there's not enough fuel. There's not enough. All your gas bills are going to go up. I'm telling you now, right? I'm a gas engineer. I'm a plumbing and heating and gas engineer. Okay. I've got friends that work for Southern Network, SN Gas, Southeast Network Gas, and they deal with the gas in the massive pipes that run all up and down the grid land in this country. All right. But they cover this area. And the videos that I've seen and would take the hair off your head, you would be like, oh my God, that's got to be so dangerous. Because there's 24-inch to 36-inch gas mains that have just ruptured, and they're blowing a hoolie, and the noise that comes from it, and people say, oh God, it's got to be dangerous. Well, it's not. When gas is under that amount of pressure and it's flowing like that, it's not combustible. It's really not. But these things can blow, as they call it in the trade, they can blow off for weeks. We're talking about there was a sand pit in Bexley. All the sand and the lorries coming in at this quarry ruptured this massive pipe. And I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos of the sand flying through the air on the gas. So we're all told, right, by these energy companies and Ofgem and all these other cocksuckers, and that's what they are, that there's a shortage of energy. There isn't, because if there was, things like gas mains, massive gas mains blowing off for weeks and just letting all that gas go into the ether, it wouldn't be happening, because the network of the grid would be so sophisticated and watertight, because when things come scarce, you get protective over things. Yeah, you know that. So this wouldn't be happening. So there is no shortage of gas. There is no shortage of electricity. We're being sold this dummy. Most of your household waste that you produce through your packaging, through your biodegradable banana skins and meat products that all go into the waste, we tend to think that most of that goes into the landfill. It doesn't. It goes to power stations. It powers the grid. Massive percentage of household waste that the bin men collect in this country goes to produce power, electricity. Do you see what I'm saying? So there is no scarcity of these fuels. We're being led and guided by politicians to believe that there's scarcity so that they can up the ante, so that they can steal your property. Guys, government is swindle of equity that you've ever seen in your life. I'm telling you now, they really, really are. And that's what they're coming for. You can't pay the bills, guess what? They might come and take your kids. They might come and take your house. These are the things that they're doing. But there is no scarcity. There is none at all. And we need to be mindful of that. Frank, for the email, you're more than welcome, gorgeous. My connection's unstable. Please wait while we try. We're back on. So what I'm trying to say is there is no scarcity. But our media and our politicians and the media channels on the TV are so contrary that they're always giving out this illusion of fear, doubt, wickedness. And do you know what? I'm sick of it. I don't know about you guys. We are sick to our back teeth of this. We're all sick of it. And some of us can see through the bullshit. Through all the bullshit that governments say, we can see it. Kelvin, yeah, no, I'm back on now, because it did say that I'd lost my connection, but we're back up. The point is, we can create something different. We don't have to live in this scarcity. We really, really, really don't. And like I say, there's loads of people up and down the country that are deciding to go and live off grid. We've got all these people making free energy devices. You'll be surprised how tenacious you can be if you focus on the end goal of being free from the system with very limited connections to it. I try every single day. I get out and I think, what can I do today to starve the beast? What can I do to starve the beast? Not because I want to, but because I feel I need to, because I think that it's become so kind of wicked. I don't want to live in a wicked country. I don't want to live in a country that's run by wicked people. And I personally do think that these people are wicked. When they steal your children, when they steal your homes, when they steal your cars without lawful excuse, without proper due process of law. Have you, ask yourself one question. When they take your cars, have you been and had a jury deliberate whether you've hurt someone so that you have your property stolen from you? No. Do they do that when they steal your kids? Do they go and have a jury trial? When social services, the kiddie snatchers, when they want to steal your children? Do they go in front of a jury and have to convince a jury that you're harming your children? No, they don't. Oh, we believe for a future emotional harm and we're going to take it. Well, I'm sorry, but a belief's a belief. It's not a fact. It's not true. It's not real. And these are the things we need to come back into a line through. What is true? What is truth? So do the system, do the police have to go, which they should have to, before a jury of your peers, wherever your peers are, to prove that you are unlawful in your actions and that your equity and your property ought to be taken away from you. None of this is happening. The system has become very communistic. And you might laugh at that. I don't think it's laughable. I think it's a very true, real thing. They've become commies. They've become, guilty before you're innocent. No, well, hang on a minute. We don't do that in this country. This is England. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. And the only way you can be proven guilty should be by a jury. There should be people inundated with jury service. Every single case that's lawful should have to be dealt with by a jury. And the jury decides whether you're guilty or not. That's how I see it. And I think we need to get back to being a lawful nation. I really, really do. I think we're in a time period where more and more and more people now are absolutely waking up so fast. I'm seeing some real magic going on right now and some beautiful things happening. Make no mistake about it. It's on our side right now. It really, really is. And we have to keep this up. We have to keep bringing this. The point of this video is we can create different things. We can unplug from their system. We can say no thank you, and as a mankind we can go and create something new. So look at that sunshine outside, isn't it beautiful? We can go and create something new, something fresh, something worthwhile, something decent, because all we have from the system is skullduggery, liars, cheaters, deceitful people making deceitful things rain down on you. And I've seen so many people over the years scratch their heads. I've seen people being pulled out their cars and the police drive their motors away, and I can see them scratching their head because they can't work out how these things are happening. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was outside my uncle's house a few years ago and a guy got pulled up by two coppers in an X5. And the next thing, his transit van's being taken off down the road by one of the policemen, while the other policeman takes the X5 back and he's walking down the road scratching his head with his bag of tools, I guess, that was on the back of the van. And he must be thinking, how's this happening? We're a nation of dumbed down people. We really, really are. And the police have no lawful excuse to nick your property unless you've hurt, harmed or injured someone. Oh, you've not got an MOT, you ain't got tax, you ain't got insurance. So what? Where's the hurt? Where's the crime? Show me the crime. It's a dirty system and it's a decaying system, and it's a system that will end up in total decay, because when they've worked out in their nuggets that they've raped and pillaged the people so much that the people can't function, what good are they? Where are they going to go? How many police do you know that can build a house? How many of them do you know that can make coffee machines or plantations? How many of them do you know that can go and turn the ground and grow fruit and veg? Not many. Not many. They're so focused and indoctrinated on this system, but they're failing to realize that when you take out this level of people in a country, then the top stuff falls down, and that's what's going to happen. It really is going to happen. Kelvin Tyrrell, lovely to see you, mate. Patsy Valentine. Hello, Pats. How are you, doll? Alison Goulding. Lovely to see you. Charlie Barton and Joe. Joey. Is that my mate, Joey? Yeah, gorgeous man. Love it to pieces, dude. Hope you're all right. And hope that everything's doing all right. So, look, we can create something different. We don't have to go with this mainstream bullshit. We can think outside the box. We can work with people. We can obtain land. We can do the things that we need to do. We've got people making free energy devices. We've got great people that can grow food. If we had midwives and a few people like that want to come and take a chance and live completely off grid and be a sustainable, free people, we can do that. We don't have to live in this decaying system. And do you know what? I think most people in the system that work in it and believe in it are now starting to see that it is a decaying, sick system. I've just done a job for this morning for a nurse. She's just retiring. She's 67 years of age. She's got a friend that's just coming up for 55 years of age. She's taking early retirement from the NHS as a nurse. And her words were to her mate, I can't take this shit anymore. Now, nurses should never be speaking like that. Nurses should be the thing that underpins that whole system. They are the value, not these ones at the top sitting up there making all these ludicrous decisions and raping the NHS. These ones down on this level, the ones that are going around the walls doing it, they're the ones that we should be so proud of them. We should make sure that they are the king of the crop. They're the ones that are making the decisions and their working environments and making sure that they are singing and they're joyful and they're happy. But it don't work like that, does it? Because it's a decaying system. Do you understand? So rather than focus on the system, rather than focus on all of what they're doing, let's us come together as a people and create something new, something that we can separate ourselves from and build our own greatness individually and collectively with other like-minded individuals. Why don't we? Good job. Thank you for the email. That's all right, buddy. I sent it over to you a couple of hours ago. Last night's show. Did you receive it? Yes, I did get your email and I've sent it back to you. It should be in your inbox. I sent it about 2 hours ago. Let me just check when I sent it to you. I sent you that, Jojo. I sent you that at 9:31. That's when I sent it to you. So this morning, I got your email, so I did send it to you. So yeah, it's a good show last night. Michael's will be back. I think he's back tonight or tomorrow, and next week he'll be back on the show on Wake Up UK. Wake Up UK is growing. It's growing. The channel's growing. There's more and more and more people now wanting to wake up, wanting to see the truth. And I encourage all of you not to get deep down and dirty with these people, not to laugh at them, but just encourage them. Make them smile, make them laugh, show them the way. You know, there's a guy out there, an American comedian right now called Jim Brewer. And Breuer, and he did a video a couple of months ago, and it's entitled "Somebody Has to Say It." Somebody had to say it, and I'm telling you now, satirically, I laughed my head off. I laughed my head off. And this comedian is so focused on what's going on and wakeism right now, and making sure that you know what's going on and who's running the world and who's doing this, and he's doing it with such a spin of laughter on it that you cannot but laugh. And that is the way into people's hearts, is to make them laugh and give them some ideas that the future's going to be bright, the future's going to be great. We're going to get rid of this system of evil, wicked sickness. It's a cancer. It really is, people. And we need to change that. We need to be forward-thinking people. We need to think outside the box. We need to give the system two of them, and we need to pull our energy from it. The only bit the system gets from me, if you want to call it the system, is food. And even this year, we've been growing loads and loads and loads. I've got my potatoes. They're still growing. I'm going to be pulling them out Christmas Day, making a dinner with homegrown stuff. We're growing so much. For lunch today, I had loads of tomatoes and cucumbers, all homegrown. tastes so amazing. Your cucumbers have got seeds in them, just as nature provided. You don't get that in Sainsbury's or Lidl's, do you? Because it's got no nutritional value. There's nutritional value in that is all in the seeds and stuff like that. And I've got tomatoes that are as big as your hands in my polytunnel greenhouse. And we're continuing to grow this theme of being self-sufficient, because I've got solar, I've got off-grid gas. You can make a biodigester. You can create your own gas all year round by using biodigesting things. You can cook with it, you can heat with it, and it's free. It's free. Guys, the amount of things that we can do that we don't have to rely on the system, and we don't have to go out and run down the road and get bottles of gas and this, that. We can create our own gas. We can create our own energy. We can create our own food. Guys, we are creators, and we should be creators. We should think outside the box. Now, all I'm looking for is for people all to come together and focus on this rather than focus on all the crap that the system brings with it. And I hope that you're feeling that vibe. I really, really, really do. And I hope that someday we get this country back to some common sense. Till next time, people, thanks for tuning in as always. I love every single one of you. Frankie, you're a great man. Frank, thanks for the chat yesterday, mate. Love you to pieces. I'll see you all soon, peeps. Take care. Look after yourselves. Have a good weekend. Beautiful weekends.